What's up, guys? I just got out of seeing the movie Inception in theaters. They were releasing it around here where I'm at. Maybe they're doing it out where y'all are as well. Highly recommend checking it out. I was pretty young when this one came out. I remember hearing bits and pieces about it, but I never had the chance to see it in theaters. And what can I say? Inception, it's a modern classic. This movie really just moves. There isn't any downtime. It gets right to the chase. And honestly, it's really hard to know where to begin on just the level of very complex ideas and themes that are presented in this film, and their presentation, the narrative is flawless, while at the same time being an incredible action film. And do I even need to get into the cast? Golly, the performances. Leonardo DiCaprio, is there a better actor alive? Maybe Tom Hanks. Maybe he can get you to cry over losing a volleyball. I don't know if DiCaprio has done that yet, but gosh, what a performance. And there's so many components of the dialogue and the overall setting that I think really just help me reflect on a lot of important things. Much like the film The Matrix, Inception battles with that idea of what is real. And while I would argue that there's not much point in wondering what's real, is what we're experiencing right now, is that real in the practical sense, in the cookie cutter shallow interpretation of what does that mean. But what I think is more important to consider, that I think The Matrix and Inception are really getting at, things that actually are applicable to the world around us, is what is not as it seems. If we look at a number of institutions or practices or just patterns and the powers that be, ways of life, what is constructed? What's orchestrated? What's really there? It really takes a lot of work to kind of open up our worldview and pick up on a lot of these things that other people might not notice, but they're still there. And in that sense, we're being invited to take
a leap of faith
and really get into the details of what is going on around us. Even some of what the story talks about, it could even be applied to maybe even to dating, right? They talk about, are you willing to take a leap of faith, or do you want to be an old man waiting to die alone?
So, do you want to take a leap of faith, or become an old man filled with regret, waiting to die alone?
How many people out there are afraid maybe to take those steps to try and date around? Nobody wants to be an old man waiting to die alone, filled with regret, right? Maybe it doesn't apply to dating. Maybe it applies to our political views. Maybe we're on one side of an issue and we haven't bothered to elaborate and dig into it further. But we should be willing to at least take that leap of faith and try to see the other perspective. And maybe then we'll find the real answer is more in the middle. Maybe we'll become more moderate as a result. This could relate to faith. Maybe our faith is struggling. We need to take that leap of faith and try to find out what's real. And I love the exchange of dialogue between Cobb and Mal as she tries to convince him that what around him is not real, that it's impossible. There's no way that he could be being a fugitive for infiltrating people's dreams. That sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud.
Chased around the globe by anonymous corporations and police forces. The weather projections persecute the dreamer. Admit it. You don't believe in one reality anymore. So choose. Choose to be here. Choose me.
You know what I have to do? I have to get back to our children because you left them. Because you left us.
You're wrong.
Not wrong.
You're confused. Our children are here. And you'd like to see their faces again, wouldn't you?
Yes, but I want to see them up above, Mom.
Up above. Listen to yourself. These are our children. Watch. James? Philippa?
Yes, Mom, please. Those aren't my children.
You keep telling yourself that, but you don't believe
No,
it.
I know it.
And what if you're wrong? What if I'm what's real? You keep telling yourself what you know. But what do you believe? What do you feel?
Well, in truth, there are a lot of things in the world around us that they might sound ridiculous when you say them out loud, but that's how they really are. And I think Mal, in a sense, embodies the arguments of the adversary. That Satan, the devil, he speaks to us in half-truths, much like Mal does. He tries to plant ideas in our mind. Inception, that's what the movie's all about. And what ideas are we letting being planted in our mind? And what ideas are we sharing with others? Are we trying to share uplifting ideas? Or are we trying to plant seeds of doubt, despair in those around us? Are we letting those grow in ourselves, right? And we're really looking for reconciliation and rejuvenation. But it can be so easy to seek the opposite of those things. We're looking for that catharsis, trying to reconcile and be more at peace. We might be battling with a lot internally. And I think that's kind of what the film embodies when it shows Cobb finding Saito. We might have friends, those around us that are really struggling mentally, spiritually, maybe with their faith, with their employment, whatever it may be, and they might be in a dark place. They might have gone off and they don't know what's real anymore. And we need to seek them out, be a good friend, and remind them, right? Invite them to uphold their agreements.
I've come back for you. To remind you of something. Something you once knew.
To convince me to honor our arrangement.
To take a leap of faith, yes. Come back. So we can be young men together again. Come back with me.
To help them honor an arrangement, right? Take that leap of faith and come back. Come back to the light. I think this film also explains a lot about dealing with grief, moving on. While Cobb is the one responsible for planting the idea in Mal that led her to take her own life, he recognizes that he needs to move on. We're going to make mistakes, but constantly dwelling on them, it doesn't do us any good. We need to move forward. And sometimes we're going to have to go through hard things, right? They say that moving downwards is the way to move up. I think they say that at one point when they're trying to go further into the dreams. And they might be planting, the idea they're planting in Fisher's mind overall is positive, at least for him and his outlook on life. Inception can be a good or bad thing. And going on to more of the story side, less the big picture, or maybe the technical components of the film, it looks incredible still. All the practical effects, the CGI, very little of it looks great. What a ride. Golly. The action's great. The zero gravity is really fun. The battle over the mountain the snow mountain, whatever, is amazing. I've forgotten about that moment with the avalanche where they have to dodge the falling snow. That was intense. And I remember thinking it's kind of weird that Fisher gets shot and then they bring him back with the defibrillator. I remember thinking that. I'm pretty sure someone bleeds out trying to shock their heart or however that stuff works. I'm not sure if that would really bring him back. But I remembered it's a dream. It's not a plot hole. It's a dream. It can work the way they want to some extent. It's not out of impossibility that... I mean, let's think about what we're talking about here. Entering people's dreams within dreams. It's allowed to be a little goofy, okay? It's just, all in all, perfect execution on this film. And I'm so glad I had the opportunity to revisit it. And again, with that leap of faith, did Cobb really make it home? That's a big question. Is he still in a dream? And I think ultimately what we can recognize from this film is that we need to be more alert, more aware of what's around us, what may not be as it seems. Take that leap of faith. Don't give up. Don't despair. Cobb made it home. He made it home. And we can as well. Just that creation of the dream world, right? Cobb and Mal, they felt like they were gods as they created their own world in limbo. But it wasn't fulfilling because they knew it wasn't real. But the journey that God can take us on, it is for real. And we need a team. We need friends, we need family, others to help us lead us on that path and help keep us grounded. We're going to have to go through challenges and lots of crazy, crazy stuff. But by being more aware, holding to what we know to be true, and taking that leap of faith continually, everything will work out in the end. Inception. Great movie. Please check it out if you haven't already. And if you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe. Catch you next time.